Hey guys, this is Wilnex, and this is my first Factorio episode on this channel. It will be the first video on my channel as well. The reason I'm doing this is because Factorio 0.15 has just come out, and yeah, it's going to be good. There's a load more features which we'll be getting onto, such as nuclear power. You can see there's new retextures. If you haven't played this game before, you'll know that if you have played it before, not if you haven't, that a lot of the textures were, for especially ore, they were very blocky. Um, and this is another feature as well. I can't remember it from before, but when it looks like when you mine something by hand, little fragments come off. I didn't notice that before. I'm not sure if that was a feature. Let's just see if it does it with. Yeah, it does it with everything. Oh, I assume it does it for everything. So yeah, this is a vanilla playthrough. Um, there's also new settings before you start the game, such as such as default, rail world, custom. Well, no, custom. Uh, it's like increased resources or something like that, along those lines, and basically just means the further you go out from your base, like from this ore mine here, this stone, there'll be. You see that one is a lot smaller. So the further you get out from your center of the map where you spawn, the more there will be in an ore patch. So there's 3.7 million there. Although it's a lot bigger than this one, there's only just under a million there, and it appears to be about just over double the size. So yeah, it scales depending on how far you get, and this is a new ore down here as well. So yeah, this is vanilla. I have changed only one setting, and that's biters don't attack first, only because I don't want it to be, because I'm new to the game sort of. I have about 200 hours, so I'm not that new, but yeah, I don't really want to be dealing with biters, especially not in this series, because it's a new update. I want to get used to it all before going into everything else with all the new science packs, research things you can do. A lot of retextures with that as well. So we're going to start off with just getting the basics done. I like to start off with um, at least 4 iron to 2 copper, um, only because early game you do need quite a lot more um, iron than you do copper, um, just because you need a lot of mining drills, and you do need copper. I'm not saying you don't need it, because you need it for circuits and other things like that, research packs, which you use the circuits for as well, which hopefully we'll either get onto this episode or next one. So yeah, you can see that mining drill's just run out there. Gonna mine up to 20. Gonna make one more of these and plonk that down there as well as that there. Okay, so now I'm gonna make a sort of not unlimited, but basically the ores just go back and forth. So I'll show you how to do that if you don't know how to do that. So you see the arrows here, that determines where the ore will go. So if I put one, I don't need all that wood. If I put one of those, that wood in, the ore from here will go into the top one, will go into this bottom one, as you can see, and any ore this one mines goes into that one there. So as I'll be going through the this sort of playthrough thing, I'll go through some of the ratios, some of the builds I like. Um, I'll try and do some of the combinator things, but I'm pretty bad at it. I know the basics. I mainly use it just for measuring how much products I'm using in oil, just because I don't really want to. I want to know how much I'm using. So we've already ran out of coal on that, so I'm just going to collect all that. If you're wondering how I collected that without going into it, it's just control left click, and then if you want to add things to something like speed modules, I think it's control right click. But yeah, we're gonna build. We're gonna get one more. We're gonna get 3 more miners 1 for copper, 2 more for this iron, and then we'll be off. Um, not too bad. Actually, no, I'm going to get 2 copper. So, yeah, sorry if these videos are going to maybe a bit slower than other YouTubers like Anti-Elites, because he's a speedrunner. I don't know how he does it. Under 2 hours to complete the game. The first time I played, it took me 118 hours to complete it. It's crazy. I don't know how he does it. He's mad. So yeah, I can't wait to get onto the new research things. It's gonna be so good. So I'm gonna pop 2 of those down, build 2 of these. I will be doing a bit of work in between episodes as well, just so you don't have to watch me not figure everything out, but work everything out and build it all. Because for me, that can get a bit boring. But it depends what you guys want. If you want to see everything that I do, I'm more than happy to just draw the series out even longer than it probably will be, because these videos only be about 20 to 25 minutes long, depending depending on how well my timekeeping is. So I'm not the best with it. Okay, so I'm gonna build 2 more of these and just make this a bit bigger. So at the moment it holds 100 coal, and now it will hold about, it'll be 50 in each, including 1 for the power. So about 204, but that never. You can't really get 204 out of it unless you take. No, you can't take that. No wonder you can't take that, because that's what it's mining. Stupid. Okay, so I'm gonna make 1 more of those, and then I'm gonna set up a small mining rig just for stone, so we don't have to keep mining it by hand, because it does get a bit repetitive. So I'm gonna add 1 of those like that. 1 of those. Get some more coal for that. And I won't be using this late game, if any of you are wondering that, because that's just so inefficient. I'll be getting onto as quick as I can to the new and improved steam engines and burners, because I messed about with them before I started this, and I did enjoy it, but it was confusing at first because you can't really see it on here, but it's let's imagine this is the boiler. I mean, we'll get onto it in a few minutes anyway, but there's 2 pipes there, and then your steam engines come off to the right or the left, which before either they just came vertical, but now they come horizontal from it, and the ratios have changed dramatically. So 1 boiler now requires 2 steam engines for maximum efficiency. So yeah, 1 pump, 10 steam engines, not 10 steam engines, 10 boilers and 20 steam engines is what you'll be needing for that, for the most efficient mining. So we're going to make 2 more of these, just to get our iron production up a bit more. And this world is actually pretty good. It's the first one I made, which never usually happens with me. Usually it takes me 4 or 5, because I always get stuck in the like forest biomes. But considering we're not playing on not hard, but let's call it peaceful, we won't really need to bother about biters, because they won't harm us unless we attack them first, which we probably won't be doing until late game, or until we do actually need them. Alright, so I'm just going to start saving up more of my iron and copper. I don't know why I'm going into it. I could just right click, left click even. Right, so we're going to add 15 to that. We're going to take stone furnaces take way less coal than an actual miner does, burner miner. They're just more efficient in general. But these stone furnaces are quite slow. So we've got quite a bit of stone backed up. I'm going to limit this to, I say, 150, even though we're going to burn through that quite quickly. So we're going to make 1 of those, 10 boilers, and then we're going to need a lot of steam engines You'll probably see me mess up a few times at least. I'm just going to go and gather some wood just for the power poles, because I always forget to do that. I always spawn in a world where there's like no trees and think, oh, it's great, and then realise I have to travel 5 minutes in any direction to get any wood to start, and then you need a load of wood for your power poles that you're going to use, as well as electricity, which is always my biggest problem starting, well, mid-game, is just power. I can never get enough. But luckily, this 43 power poles will turn into 86, because you get two of them. Maths. Okay, so we've got two steam engines boiling. We're just going to get 10 to start. Hopefully, that's a plan anyway. I'm going to get some more of these. More dish. More dish, mate. And then I'm going to get... Oh, goodness. Yeah, we need way more of these. We need more. Copper's run out as well. This is always a problem early game, like when you first start out. It's just, well, for me anyway, I'm not sure about any of you guys watching, but it's always the start. It's just a pain in the arse, because you're just going back and forth and forth and back and back and forth from everything. So we're probably gonna start our. I never like to. I don't know where to start this. And this is another feature as well. You can zoom in further and you can see yourself. There you are. I think that doesn't look very nice. I think eventually we're just gonna landfill this. So I'll probably start over here, down there, just to get a bit of power. And you'll see there's a lot of retexturing done and a lot of fixing of a lot of things, which is pretty exciting. So I'm going to pop up there. Don't have any of that to begin with. And I'm not sure if this is if it's the optimum way of doing the boilers, but it's just the way I've been doing it with the new sizes. I think they're 2x1 now. So yeah, we're going to pop two of these down. Do I have any coal left? I do. Right. I'm going to get all this copper as well, because I'm going to need that. I'm going to get all this coal. I'm going to need two of those and quite a few of these. Right, okay. Can make two more steam engines as well, that's good. Right. Okay, so with the new boilers, as you can see, this is what they look like now. I'm just going to put one of these here just so I don't have to go out as far. And I think that should be alright there, actually. No, I'm going to go one more. Just so it's level with that, because I don't want it... I mean, the boilers will only come to about there. Maybe there. So that's not a big deal. Okay, so this is what they look like now. If you can remember what they looked like before, they were only little 1x1s. And now this is what they look like. So I'm going to space these out with one block in the middle, and you'll see that why I do that in a sec. It's just easier. And then we're going to have burner inserters, a lot of burner inserters, feeding them. So we put one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Oh, always happens. And going back to speedrunners, Anti-Elite just plonks them down like perfectly. He's just crazy. I don't know how he does it. His timing's impeccable. So we're gonna put one of them there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. And we're just gonna leave that for now. Okay, so we've got a bit of power. Well, we've got the basics of power done. A late game, you will not be using, especially if you've got biters turned on, you won't be using boilers as the majority of your build, purely because you get so much pollution and trees late game. You'll be clearing kilometers of trees around you, if you're building a big mega base as well as the train tracks and everything like that, you'll just absolutely decimate all the trees around you. But for the meantime, as you can see, we've got more than enough copper just from these two. We haven't really used any yet. I mean, we can start building some of these, but oh, I don't need that many. Only 10 for now. And oh yeah, quickly I'll just go over this new the new research. So let's try and find the mining one. Ah, here we are. So as you can see, it's got 1 to 3. So that's mining productivity 1, 2, and 3, including this bracket. So they require 100 yellow, not yellow. I can't even get colours right. Green and red. And then it just increases the more and more. 4 to 7, you need 400 of each of 3. Then you need 800, and then you're getting into some of the new packs, high tech science packs, which is gonna be. I think it's gonna be a pain to set it up properly, to get it efficient. But yeah, to be honest, we really shouldn't have done that because we're just slowing everything down. Right, so anyway, this is the setup I'm gonna use early game for these. I will switch them over to electric burners, but for now that'll do fine. And then what basically happens is this one feeds coal into this one takes coal out of that, and it's just a daisy chain effect until they're all full up. Which probably isn't the most efficient. You probably could do it a lot better with a belt going either side, like straight down here, but that does require a lot of belt early game, and we do have coal right here, so we can just zip it across if we need to. Well, that's what we're going to do anyway. So yeah, now it's just a waiting game really, just making sure we've actually got everything we need. Now these need more coal. I can't wait until we get onto electric everything. It's gonna just be so much easier to do. And then these probably need some more coal up here. Yeah, just fill them up. Okay. So I hope this probably isn't very fast paced at all, but I hope I'm speaking faster than I usually do anyway. Which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing really. 25 of that, 25 of that. Okay. So we still haven't gone for any of the copper yet, so you can do what you want early game. Well, to a degree. You don't want to completely botch everything, because that'll just mess you up for the rest of the. Well, it would take a long time to tidy up. And yeah, going back to the ratios, I'm not sure if the with the miners, is there a way to increase efficiency on smelters? Because that'd be pretty cool if there was. Doesn't look like there is. I'll have to have a look off camera. Don't really want to waste any time. So we're gonna make 84 of those. Now that might take a long time, but we're gonna need it. Okay, so we're gonna start mining that coal with electric miners first. Just because it's a lot easier. We don't have to keep going back and forth to refill the coal that's mining the coal. Right, we're going to collect all this and then make 4 of these. Which is lucky because that's the amount we actually had enough of. God, my maths is so bad in this game sometimes. I don't know how my brain... sometimes I just sit looking at the screen when I'm on my big bases, just like, what is even going on here? Not sure if any of you guys think the same. Okay, so think we're nearly done in this episode. It's only been about 20 minutes, I think. But we're just gonna set this up over here. Get this all done, and then might do a little bit of work off camera, or I might just record the next episode straight after. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Right. So we're gonna dump some of this coal into here just to get it kick started. Right. As you can see, I put 50 in there, and that was actually control left click. I forgot. And it's just fill. It'll go to 5. Each boiler will have 5 coal in it. That's what it wants to have. So if this one has, wait, not that one. If this one has 37, eventually it will have 5, and the rest will want to have 5, with this one being the last one to have the coal it needs, really. So we're just going to set this up now. I'm not sure if we'll be able to go across this. Will we? No, we won't. Ah, oh, gutted. We're going to have to go round. Crap. I didn't really want to do that, but I thought it was small of a gap to do that. And then we'll go across. Just like this. I'm probably being really inefficient. If anyone's watching this, probably screaming at your screen. Screaming at your screen. Right, so I space them. I used to space them two away from each other, but it's just a lot more efficient, I think, doing it like this. So one of those will parallel those. And I'm really OCD with my power poles. I always like to get in, like, not 1, 2. The furthest away they can get from. We'll just snake this round, like so. That's gonna trigger me. Right. See, that's what I'll do first, and hopefully these all have, yeah, they all have some coal, which is a good thing. Yeah, they all have a bit of coal. This last one's probably got all the coal. Yeah, this is the last one's got all the coal. That always happens. Right, how much power are we on? Plenty. Don't need to worry about power yet. Especially, I'll build another 10 there. So yeah, looks like we've already got power in the first episode. Madness. Mad ting. Then we'll get on to science next episode. So yeah, next episode we're going to go on to bit of science packs, automating it, semi-automation, so we'll still have to put boxes and things about for the assemblers. We'll get on to hopefully starting the smelting array, which will be fun. Yep, you'll see how I'll do that in the next episode, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this episode, everyone. This has been Will Nex's first ever Factorio episode on 0.15. Yep, I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.